The industry average open rate for cold email is at a measly 6%. Our open rate, however, is above 60%. That's literally 10x the average, and with these high open rates, we've helped our clients generate hundreds of thousands of dollars and scale their own company.
The biggest impact has been able to see our calendar filled up. But the good thing, the impact is that just seeing the actual work happening, seeing the appointments come through.
And in this video, I'll break down the exact strategy we use to consistently hit over 60% open rates so that you can just copy it, apply it to get more replies and book more calls. You see, most people write a subject line that screams like they're going to sell you, or one that screams spam right off the bat. But with the method that we use, it stands out in the inbox and gets them to open it and reply to our messages. I have everything mapped out for you on a Miro board, so let's get right into it so that I can show you how this all works. Okay, so welcome to the 60% open rate playbook. So before I do get into our entire playbook, I actually wanted to sit down and explain to you why is the industry average open rate this low. Because when I first heard that statistic of an average 6% open rate, I was baffled. I was like genuinely like, what? Is this actually real? And when I sat there and thought about it for a minute, I realized that, yeah, I can definitely see the industry average being this low. Because you see, most people make two crucial mistakes when it comes to both their subject line and their first line, which I'll get more into, and I'll explain why this is important and why it makes the industry average open rate 6%. So first, let's get started with the subject line, right? Most people, they write a subject line that literally screams, I want to sell you. It's like you're going into the prospect's inbox with like a sign that says, hey, I'm here to sell you. Oh, what the heck, Lou? But I don't know why I did that. But they go into the prospect subject line saying, I want to sell you, right? And so the prospect can immediately sniff that out. And the second thing is that you talk too much about them, or you talk too much about yourself. This is wrong. Talk too much about yourself and not them. So what I mean is, you have to understand that you're a stranger coming to their inbox. They're not going to care about you. They're not going to sit there and read about your history or all this and all that. They don't care about you. You're a stranger coming into their inbox. You have to sell them on why they should work with you and not necessarily, or why they should hop on a call with you and not necessarily talk about what your company like history is, right? So let me show you two quick examples of this. The first one, and these are both of these examples I'm going to show you are both emails that I got and both emails that I respond to. The first one is pretty much strategic partnership opportunities with Mr. Company name. And the reason why something like this doesn't work is because it's only talking about them. I don't know who their company is. So why am I going to respond to this? You know, like it doesn't matter. Like imagine you sent an email like this to someone like Alex Hermosi, right? So if I send, let's say I did it. If I send an email like this to Alex Hermosi where it says strategic partnership opportunities with Gamic Media, do you think he's going to reply to me? Or do you think he's going to click on this email? No, he won't, because he doesn't know me. More than likely, he doesn't know me yet. But he doesn't know me, so he's not going to respond to this email. Right? And it's the same thing. Like you can't talk too much about yourself in the subject line. Just make it about them. Right? Make it about them. The second thing is the prospect can sniff out that this is a sales email. Like, look at this one. Schedule a brief video call. As soon as I saw this, I was like, this is a sales email for sure. Because this just screams like, hey, I'm here to sell you. Right? And the reason why this is important is because let's say, imagine that you walk into a fragrance store, right? You're going to go buy a cologne or perfume, whatever. You walk in a fragrance store just to look. As soon as you walk in, you know that there are multiple sales reps and associates there that like hang around the different companies trying to sell you something, right? And immediately you're kind of on guard because you know the reason why they're there is to sell you on something. At the back of your mind, maybe you might be like, oh, they're here to help me. But at the back of your mind, you know that they get paid on commission and they're here to sell you. So immediately what happens? You get on guard. You're on guard. You're like, okay, this guy's trying to sell me. I don't really want to be sold. And I think this is a normal human behavior to be on guard, and because people don't like being sold to. It's a weird dynamic, but people genuinely don't like being sold to. But if you make it a natural subject line, if you make it a natural conversation, And the natural progression is, okay, I'm going to buy your product or service or fragrance or whatever it may be, they're more likely to respond to you because it's natural. It's not forced like a sale. It's natural, right? And so the other major issue I see with the subject line is that people they write salesy subject lines, and the prospect can immediately like sniff it out. As soon as they click on this, before even they read your email, if they get a subject line like this, they'll be like, oh, this is a sales email, and they'll immediately be on guard because they know that they're trying to sell you, and naturally humans don't like being sold to. So that is the first major issue why the open rate is this low. The second thing is that the first line actually matters, and you need to optimize it. So by the first line, I mean this. So this is how your email will look in your prospect's inbox, right? This is obviously an older email, older picture because they have 4G, but this is how it looks. It'll look like the first name, the subject line, and then the preview text. So we just spoke about this, right? But now we're going to speak on this. This preview text is the first line of your cold email. So whatever the first sentence of your cold email is, they'll get kind of like a preview. And this is the second biggest thing why the industry average open rate is 6%. Because people start their email off with, my name is X and I work for X. Again, it goes back to the thing that I spoke about, that you speak too much about yourself and not necessarily you don't make it about them. What are they going to get by working with you? Why should they even click on this email, right? Or they'll do something like, oh, I hope you're doing well. Again, same thing. They don't care. They do not care about this at all. They don't care about what company you work for. They don't care about what your name is. They don't care about, oh, I hope you're doing well, because that just comes off as auto-generated. They can tell that, okay, this guy, this is probably an auto-generated email, because so many of the emails that they get is, hope you're doing well, hope you're having a fantastic day. I find that this email finds you well. Or I find that this email, whatever, right? It comes off as auto-generated, and they just don't care. And that's the two biggest reasons why the industry average open rate is 6%, because people are making these two big mistakes. Now, you might be like, okay, Arian, I got it. Like these are things not to do, but how can I actually increase my open rate so that it gets to 60% like yours? I got you, don't worry. So this is the 60% open rate playbook, right? With their subject line, you have to invoke curiosity and be vague. When they get this email, they have to be like, what is this guy trying to say? Like, what does this even mean? Like, what the heck? Like, what type of subject line is this? Like, what is this? And that curiosity gets them to open up the email, because they'll be like, well, what is this guy even trying to say, right? And the secret hack I can give you is include their name or their company name. If you've ever read How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, you know how important this is. And even if you're in sales, you know how important this is. Because like Dale Carnegie says here, a person's name is to that person the sweetest and most important sound in any language. This is basic sales and basic psychology. People love seeing and hearing their name. They love it. They love it. So if you can include that in the subject line, they'll be more likely to respond to you. Simple as that. That's one of the easiest hacks you could do. Just make it vague and include their name. That's simple. And again, this is simple psychology, because people love hearing and seeing their name. Even if they're not like hearing it verbally, just seeing their name, especially if they have a unique one, makes them click on it. So what I mean is, obviously, even if their name is something like John and they see John everywhere, they're still going to want to click their name. But if their name is unique, let's say it's like mine, like Arian, right? When they get an email like that, they'll be like, okay, I don't usually hear and see my name like this often. Let me click on it, right? And then finally, the last thing is you have a first line that is personalized, that gives value or intrigues them. And I'll give you an example of how to do all this, right? So an example of a good subject line is idea for you, first name. Why does this work? Again, first name. It has the first name. It invokes curiosity and it's vague. Like they're going to be like, what idea did you have for me? Like, I'm curious, what is this, right? And so for the first line, for doing something like this, you can, again, call out their pain, personalize after like LinkedIn or like a pattern interrupt. Basically, for the first line, you just want to get them to have it so it's personal, it gives value, or it gets them to keep reading, right? So here's an example that we did for a company, right? It was idea for you, natural healing. Now this subject line was actually this guy's company. And the reason why this works is because this guy's actually the founder. So you'll find the company name does work, but one quick nuance I'll give is I find that it works better on founders and CEOs because they care about their company more than just a random employee, right? And so this was a subject line we used for this guy, and it worked. Second thing was the first line, right? And we said, hey, natural healing. Many people are curious about hormone therapy, but feel nervous after searching online, right? So this is kind of intriguing to them, or this is kind of like intriguing / calling out their pain, because this is a natural pain that they feel. These hormonal therapy clinics, they try to get new clients, and the thing is, they have trouble attracting these clients because people are curious, but they're like a little nervous. They're like, okay, should I do this? Should I not? Is this even worth it? Is this legit? So this is a pain that they have, and we called it out. So that's how we got this guy to open up the email. And actually, this guy ended up booking a call with us. And so you see, this is the natural progression. Subject line, first line, and then after he opens up the email, reads it, and reads the offer and whatnot, he then is like, hey, let's set up a time to talk. But entirely, this works because, again, keep it vague, keep it intriguing, use their name, and then for the first line, again, call out pain, personalize it, or just have some type of pattern interrupt. That is what works best. And again, you can just take this subject line because this works really well. And yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, this entire video can be summarized in just 3 quick steps. You want to get them to click on the email, not video, email, by not having a generic and salesy subject line. Don't come off as automated and like, hope you're doing well, or I hope this email finds you well. And again, just make it intriguing, include their name, and make sure it's relevant to them. This is super simple. I see a lot of people overcomplicate this. Just make it super simple. Include their name, make it intriguing, make it sound like an actual human, and you will get that industry average open rate from 6 to hopefully 60 plus like we are. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching this video. And if you are a B2B business and you want us to basically build out an entire outbound system for you to book 10 to 20 calls a month, click the link below. Here's some results that we've gotten from some of our clients. Here's one of our clients closing somebody. This was yesterday. Here's Deepak, who we helped generate $270,000 in 8 months. Here is Renee from First Work Digital, booking 57 meetings, signing 8 new clients. Here's Matthias, booking 25 meetings and closing 2 deals. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you are a B2B business and you want this system implemented, all done for you, click the link below, and I will see you on the next video. Peace out.